In the last video, I chose the frame from Maria that I wanted to recreate, but deciding to do it is the easy part. Now I have to figure out how. I decided early in this process that some of the context would have to change. Maria's bedroom is a trove of opulence. She has vinyl, she has statues, she has fine textiles everywhere, and I ain't got all that. But what I do have is paint supplies, canvases, textiles, and the chops to make a convincing studio in the corner of my bedroom. Now that we've figured out where we are going to shoot this, now we have to figure out how we're going to see it. Let's pull up our frame and pick out what we notice. The first thing I'm drawn to is the teal light coming from the window. We see only a handful of exterior shots of Maria's apartment. It's like on the 4th or 5th floor, and the street light isn't getting up that high, which tells me that teal light is actually a very artful moon, which makes sense because the scene is incredibly emotional. She's facing evidence of her declining health, so the scene gets to be a bit painterly. So I put the Amaran 150C out on the balcony, and I used some diffusion cloth to make the drapery on the balcony door. The other important light that I configure is this warm light in frame left, which kind of serves as a bit of room tone, the ambient light of just a room. So I set about trying to figure out what kind of light bulbs they used in Paris in the 1970s, and turns out no one really documented that in any accessible way. So I figured it's a warm tungsten light, so I used the 600D pointed at a gold 501 reflector to get that warmth out on the scene itself. Hey kids, always charge your batteries. And with the white balance set to 6300 Kelvin, it was time to get shooting. So I pulled my actress Delaney to serve as my rather distraught diva. And I think it came out pretty well, though there were some things that were much harder than I thought they would be. That opening shot coming from a really high angle and swooping in was much harder than I expected, certainly handheld. I think having a wider lens would make that a bit easier too. The widest I have is a 50mm, and that was just a bit too tight to add appropriate emphasis on subject and the set. But without further ado, let's see how we did. And I'm proud of it, in spite of the issues and shortcomings and all that stuff. I think learning and sharing is more important than making 100 improvements to try to reach perfection and never show anyone. I try not to let great be the enemy of good. So head on down to the comments and let me know how you think I could have done better next time. And while you're there, let me know what Oscar nominee you think I should try to recreate next time. Also, consider supporting on Patreon. You get all this stuff a little extra and you help support what we're doing here in this whole adventure. But as always, your viewership is enough for me. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay wonderful.